Hi, everyone, and welcome on this beautiful Orthodox Easter day, a very important resurrection day. So, what I'll do, I believe we're running good here, sister, and you're the host. I hand it back to our host. Thank you.
Divine-gpms.world is a worldwide cumulative gathering of consents for every child, woman, and man to ratify and enact into law worldwide the all-inclusive replacement system of money and law worldwide, as outlined on the consenting website of divine-gpms.world. It is imperative that all worldwide take a couple of minutes and consent to add your accord, children included.
Greetings to everyone. We are on April 12th, 2026. Happy Easter time, as Rick said before, for the Orthodox community. And thank you so much to be here with us today. We have guardians all over the world, and also Rick George, founder of GPMS, High Priest of Melchizedek Order. So we have the team from the UK today, Maxine, Dan, and Daniel. Also Germany with Agnes, Sergio, Ontario, Ukraine, Canada, Ukraine, Chris, Romania, and Beatrice, also Canada, Romania. So I'm saying plus your places because we are linked, and GPMS it is worldwide, and it is about having no borders. So we communicate. We are a team working together. It does not matter if somebody is coming from the UK, or does not matter the place. Earth, it's our home, and we want peace, and we create abundance. So, what it is very important, implementation of universal laws do no harm, and also peace and love. So, do no harm, universal laws. It is the law of the love, and the love is the cure for everything, including poverty, including slavery, and everything that it is bad. Remove darkness, has the power to remove darkness, and has the power to unite all the soul as one, the law of one. Recall the time about the ascension, because I think that right now more awakening is coming. Personally, I believe more are coming from the United States, but it seems that also in Ireland I saw a protest. It is about the survival, because we are really on the survival mode at this time. So we need to flip from this survival into heaven on earth scenario. So the most important, if the people can start to see the solution. And this is the reason that the ascension, it is extremely important. So where we are in the middle of April 2026 with the ascension.
Great. Where are we? That's a great question. And I always like to say we're going forward, not backward, despite what it may look like out there. And again, the ascension, divine GPMS is ascertained all of this. It's just that we're going through the actions and the course of getting it implemented. But during this course of action, there are so many that have to make the choices, but they also have to see the reason why they must make the choice. So there is hardship that occurs, as you're seeing with inflation, war, all of these things that the people don't want. So these are occurring now, at least as an example, so the people turn their sights away looking for the solution. And that's when divine GPMS comes in, that they see there is an actual real light at the end of the tunnel. It's not fake, if you will. As everyone knows, this is very real. It's a simple process of everyone physically ratifying this worldwide agreement. And it's a cumulative vote, meaning that we keep collecting the votes until we have the majority, and poof, it's done. Because truly, the people are the power. When you look at the handful of leaders today in the governments, like it's just over 200 that are, controlling all of humanity with this insane beast system, what I label it, because it truly is the capitalistic system. Uh, 200 cannot control the majority of the people any longer because the people now have the very real instrument to change reality, to change it from the savagery into uh, at least a civilized world. So, having said this, with the overall ascension, yes, it is taking time. Today, the beliefs of ones are so important. And the beliefs of one that governments were only their only option is transitioning. No, there is the other way, and that's divine GPMS. So the only reason that this world exists today with the capitalistic structure is because the majority just don't know yet that they have the choice to end it all of the suffering, if you will. So it's by the belief of the individuals that a system exists. But not only that, this brings me to an important point about today. Everything is energy. And yes, metaphoric. There are many metaphors in reality and in creation. And having said this, today with the Christian community worldwide at least, for many of them, this is the day of resurrection. And now I'm going to speak about Christ because it's through Christ that the world knew what ascension was as well, but not limited to, if you look in Buddhism and other faiths, it has been seeded as well, the process in the least. But when we look today with there's over 2 billion Christians in the world, that belief of recognizing today as a resurrection day. So it's the third day after Christ was crucified. So most are commemorating this day as the resurrection when the Christ walked out of the tomb, if you will, and they saw he was still alive. And he stayed around for 40 days after that, able to maintain the physical human form as well as his divinity. Then, after the 40 days, he ascended. And it's important with this, meaning that he ascended out of this world in material form. So, this is also tied into planetary ascension. So, the story of Jesus was the seed to make this time possible. And it's important for ones to know and to believe in that ascension, because typically the ascension is out of this hell, this purgatory, into a heaven on earth. So these are very good and powerful and valuable beliefs to have. It's not to be thrown away. Neither is any indigenous prophecy that proclaims the golden age time, if you will. All of these faiths and religions have been already preceded and provisioned with an indicator to recognize this time. And this is all by divine design and orchestration, and it is very real and it is happening. So, what I do say with a little bit of information in communion with Father this morning, um, my instruction is to say May 22nd is a very important day for, let's say, advanced divine ones with their Kundalini Merkaba advanced, but the general suggestion to those that it resonates with, and I need to put this post out, is to be on your utmost best behavior in the next 40 days, but also with that assisting any honest ones that will come uh, into your reality, and also generating out the beautiful kindness, which I know Sister Max knows with the Buddhism, and that is a very important core value for everyone to have. And this is not only about yourself again, this next 40 days, it's about humanity as well. So you wish to be expressing a mercy, but not a foolish mercy. Use your utmost discretion because there are, let's say, demonic, evil ones that are scammers and what have you. So I'm not speaking about that. You use your own determination and discernment. But what we are saying is to be the example of this goodness overall. And, we've been always practicing that. However, it's time for I once again to reiterate the importance to the world. And another reason for this, more and more are awakening. They are paying attention to us. So when you be this good example, you transition marginally or greatly everyone you come into contact with. So I will say that April 14th, we're still watching this meteorite. Um, it Let me just say it may have some divine significance. I don't have any more on that, but I do bring that up. So with your overall ascension, yes, we're still going forward. I'm very grateful and happy, to say that this week once again we're expanding with new brothers and sisters joining and coming in, and we have Sister Din. We had Sister Nat that joined us last week. I believe we'll have Brother Rangi come in the meeting. He's currently, I believe, doing a radio show in the UK, but it's important he will drop in later. And also Tommy from the US, I've been speaking with what he was putting out. He now feels and sees GPMS. So with his people that he interacts with in the US, he will begin also to offer the GPMS choice. So these are only a couple micro or three micro examples of my interactions with others, meaning that perhaps Brother Dan, he's always meeting new ones, and Sister Max. So, we're beginning to see a fanning effect begin, and this is so good and so important. Oh, and one more thing with Sister Coral, but she was speaking, or with Brother Denovan. If not yet, she has sent him a message because there is a young masculine from Sudan, which is walking from the UK to Sudan in Africa to create awareness and to assist his people because there was great conflict and of course famine in that area with over many I will say at least over 10 million people, but this is prevalent in these areas through the world, and GPMS is the solution. So if he carries the message of divine GPMS and gives it not only to everyone that is supporting him on his awareness walk, but also to take the message into Sudan to give it to the people as well. So this is another attribute, a micro example of our expansion. What I have seen this week with my interactions with others. And having said that, perhaps if it resonates, Sister Beatrice, at this point, if there's anyone else on the panel here today, if they have made contact with like individuals and if they had the same experiences where we may anticipate others, new ones, joining uh, now or in the near future. Thank you.
Yeah, so yesterday I was door to door with cards and I shared 300 cards. And yeah, so I was driving and my GPS stopped somewhere. And after that, I was driving without GPS and I said, God, please give me an environment where I can find people and I can share many, many cards because it is important to share many as possible. Then my car stopped somewhere and I started to see a lot of duplex and everything. So basically, it was everything like a range for my work to be done. And um, house near house, house near house. Then from there, I started to find communities and speak with them, and I passed a very good day. And the people that I spoke with, they said, yes, 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 I like it. I like it, yes. Um, are you coming from Alberta Independence? No, no, no. Oh, okay, so come. Yes, this I like it. But I just let you the card on the, because he saw me from the window. I said, "But just I let you the card on the mail." And he said, no, no, give me please, please, please a card, but I can because you are upstairs. So I let him another card to card. So basically, I would say Alberta independence, unfortunately, is not aligned with universal laws. And GPMS, yes, it is. And the people start to resonate on the universal laws right now. So even that they do not know yet what is that, freedom of belief is there. So it is not a problem. The religion, the freedom of expression and everything. We have no borders. It is about that we create abundance. We will be recognized as shareholders of Earth, having access to our resources. So it is all about us and the people. When they hear about this kind of project like organic food, the organic housing and everything, they like it. So, and much more, they like no war and to come together in project to do something, basically to create strong communities and also strong families and to have money for the children. So I see right now also the masculine side, not only the feminine, but also the masculine side, the reaction. um, so if I have three children, I will have money for all of them. Yes, you'll have money for all of them. And yes, it is about $60,000 per month. And when I said, ask me again, it is per month because it was incredible. Yes, it is per month. And $60,000 for three children is not about the $60,000 that we see today in the United States. This will have a very huge power. So it is about our intrinsic value and will be just amazing. So if you spend today $20,000 per individual with no taxes as United States dollar, you cannot come with so much. Then when will be placed on the GPMS system, then the people will have a lot of free access to a lot of resources. And basically, more than that, they will have also the money. So basically, the money will be not a problem. Then we will be finally free to think what to do for ourselves and for the planet. Yes, Eric.
Thank you, sister. Just some clarity on this. The way GPMS is designed, the initial payment, and someone, if you already know without me checking, the initial payment for every child, woman, and man is what would be an equivalent to US dollars. But it would be, if we didn't increase it yet to 30,000, it is or was 20,000 per individual, every child included, the initial sum. And this initial sum that is paid out initially is for to place everyone in a place of comfort, at least, and to take all of the stress and their worries away. But each month after that, then what we do is you drop to about 10,000 a month. And so I need to make this clear. And the reasoning for that, what occurs is the world experiences unprecedented deflation worldwide. So the initial sum is 20 or 30,000 right at this time. Then it drops. And the reasoning for that, within a month, a very short span of time, all of your existing prices on things have also all dropped. So you don't require as much money. And I can put it this way, that let's say your initial payment to put you in a place of comfort is 20,000 in that time, but then the next month where it's 10,000, the actual buying power of that 10,000 is even more than the 20,000. So, and again, the reasoning why there are no taxes, there are no retail markup, things will become wholesale, but also less in price. And at the same time, within a month, with let's say we'll use oil and gas stock inventory, that becomes paid for. So then after that, if we're still using fossil fuels, that also becomes free because the people owns all utilities and all resources. So you don't pay yourself. And this gets reflected into the price. And just before the enactment of GPMS into law, the implementation, just prior to that, as we get close, the price index on all pricing goods and services worldwide is frozen. And it doesn't matter how much inflation between now and the implementation, because always your initial payout is always higher to fully overcompensate for any inflation. Let's say, for example, your prices from now until implementation doubles, but also does the initial payout. So it would be 60,000 US. So it's not restricted and it's not contained. It's devised to fully control everything of the old system, to control it and to give all of the control to all of humanity. So this is the transitioning. So there is never any fear of these sort of things. Uh, I'll stop there, Brother Donovan. And just before that, if we wish, anyone that also knows of others coming in, as I request, put your hand up and let us know if you know of new ones coming in as well, if you wish, your choice. I hand it over to Brother Dan.
Yes, yes,
Thank you.
yes, yes. So then, Rick has no good internet in area, it seems. Yes, then the
Hey,
UK
thank you,
finished.
brother.
That's
Hey, everyone.
amazing.
So excited to be here sharing. And yeah, beautiful what brother Rick was just sharing there. It really helps people who are certainly looking at the pragmatic adopted the words and phrases and things that I use, which obviously do seemingly effectively quite well hit home and sort of reach people. So she's began doing that, and it's amazing. And I wanted to say welcome into the family as it's growing and growing. Everyone becomes a part of it. The Divine GPS family is for all, right? That are ready to stand in divine law. And what we're very very aware of is the fact that people will often, when they're learning about this, depending on where they're at in their current journey of the process of really awakening to the world that we've been living in, and really who we truly are and what we're here to do, and the beautiful new earth that we can expect to see unravel in rapid time. A lot of people who are very early on in their journey are thinking down the lines of like, how is this going to work? And try and sort of think about things and have questions which are pragmatic, or they're trying to really drill down the logic. They have a lot of questions, and of course, often the nature of human beings, as we've been programmed and conditioned, is to seek reasons why we can't do things and why things won't work, as opposed to why things will. And obviously, when you're inventing anything, you're starting anything new, or even a company, you don't focus on all of the answers, trying to find all of the answers, and until you actually absolutely need to really get clear on those specific things. Like, you wait until the obstacle is presenting itself to you that needs to be overcome. And obviously many of these things are where the finer details of how this plan evolves are going to be very much clarified and added to, and there'll be potentially be much more clarity, but it'll be much clearer for people, and possibly be other options. So for a lot of people, again, do bring up this question about how they have a perception that people are lazy, like people on welfare and people across the world, are lazy and they won't work, even though what we're creating is so beautiful. It's absolute abundance. It's equality like we've never ever seen before, never ever would see beyond this, and yet people still think that they won't be motivated to work. And also, people can also have questions about money. There's a lot of people that actually are ready to just let money go completely. But of course, we're transitioning humanity with this plan into a world without money, ultimately, but helping people adjust to that concept without creating any anxiety. So of course, the plan is written for all the generation of money to continue for as long as it needs to, for people to feel assured that we don't actually need it anymore, and why would we keep it? But likewise, in terms of motivating people, some people would say, well, what, how? Because obviously, just going into more detail about what Brick was sharing there, there's things that I am very, very conscious people will come up for people. Oh, what if people are spending their money on things that aren't good? Right? Who's going to control like the spending if they're going to use their money for drugs and alcohol and things that obviously continue the old ways? Well, obviously, there's a massive shift in the consciousness, and everything is changing energetically, the frequency with the healing and all of these things, which is a massive part of the process of what we're doing. And of course, if you believe in the power of God and the Creator and all the rest of it, there's miracles that are occurring already all the time, constantly, and that will continue to occur in ways that we can't even yet imagine. That's if you believe in God, and maybe some viewers won't be there yet with that perception, but that's all good. You're welcome in. In terms of motivating people, there'll be other ways to help motivate people as well. For example, we're going to be connecting and building the largest worldwide think tank, where some more of these ideas and concepts will be developed and advanced and options available. But everyone has got things that they've dreamt about doing, they would love to do, places they love to see, places they love to go. And many of those people at the bottom of society that haven't been contributors really much into society in the welfare system, where, and obviously at the very bottom in other countries where there's not even a welfare system that exists, they still have dreams. And so obviously what we're going to be connecting with as we build this network is with the people, and obviously understanding what people's different dreams are. And they'll have like an unlimited bucket list of the top 500, 1,000 things, whatever it might be, that they can obviously add to at will, because we're going to be able to create those experiences for people, everyone, unlimitedly. And so for the 40-hour service a month that is written in the plan, that people will only have to work essentially, those that want to work more will choose to, and that's their free will, and they will, and they may well do that. But the 40 hours essential work will be a very, very good exchange of energy. 1 week and 4, effectively 3 weeks of the month for you to do what you want, experience your bucket list, and do that. So in exchange for the 40-hour service, it may buy effectively 5 or 10 or 15 of those luxury experiences, because again, putting people into instant comfort and becoming equal shareholders of all of the infrastructure, all of the resources, all of the corporations worldwide by the majority vote, which is what occurs. Obviously, when we reach that majority, this is how it's logically actioned or activated or actualized the intrinsic value of the human being, the divine being, which is infinite, is that we become the equal shareholders of all of that stuff. And therefore, there is actually no cost to create anything. So, of course, that's where, again, looking at the current economic framework and how that works, there's general drop, there's no inflation, there's in fact mass deflation, except there's no wages, no balance sheet in corporations, no profit and loss, that's all going. But, essentially, again, we can create money for the release and relief of anxiety to help people adjust. But things that are essential that people need, they won't have any lack or scarcity. So people are instantly homed, those that have no homes. And it's not just basic living, it's going to be high quality shelter or accommodation for them to be able to get restored and healed and receive what they need to be prepared for doing the contributions that they'll be rewarded for with their bucket list, for example, and extra money. But very quickly, people realize we don't need money, because really, what do we spend the money on? Because we're very quickly going to start receiving absolutely everything for free. And people just don't need to, they just don't need to have this physical material stuff sent to them or distribute to them digitally or whatever, because we don't need it anymore. And they're accustomed to that. And then obviously people just give their energy freely. And that's a massive transformation in their consciousness and the reality that's unfolding, where obviously people are feeling in peace, harmony, balance, and in unconditional love and joy and just gratitude for the new change and new kingdom we're creating, the one that we now want to maintain, and no one's going to want to deviate from that. So yeah, basically just wanted to add to that a little bit, a few little bit of things there. But yeah, it's because people are always, we don't need to really worry too much in the sense of the ones that aren't who are seeking all of the answers or trying to find that they need to have lots of questions answered beyond what the typical ones are. And it's not that any of the questions are bad questions, they're all good, great questions. But of course, if you spend all your time focusing on all of the things before you start anything, you never get anything created in the first place. So that's why obviously it's very simple, the plan. The 3 phases are very simple. Share the plan, get the agreements, move into phase 2, right? Get the media industry in the possession of the people. We actually take that before we reach the majority vote, because that's the way we broadcast the rest of the world very quickly, very rapidly to get to the majority vote. And that happens again because obviously, again, the consciousness is shifting, the alignment is there by the people, they're visibly seeing it, not just in the numbers on the website, but through all the traction that's happening offline and social media, promotion, podcasts, all the rest of it. Because we've got so many exciting things already starting to emerge now and occur, that's going to give us a lot more exposure. And yeah, the time is prime now for massive, massive shifts to start occurring in a big way. So I'll cut it off there. Thank you so much. Any comments, any questions? Feel free to share those.
So I want to add that the housing is free, will be no mortgage. For Canadian and for the American, do not see the housing as an asset or like equity. These words has to go. But it is very important for all the people to know the house, it's essential. The food, the good food, organic one, it is essential. The true medical, like natural products, medicine based on frequency, it's essential. So all the utilities are free and everything. So this is coming together, and also the money provided more on top of that. So it is about a law that is coming for free. And it's coming with the implementation of the good artificial intelligence that will be on Earth for the people just to use it. And our working time will be reduced to only 10 hours per week. And artificial intelligence, it's not above the people, it is under the people. So it is used by the people for the people, not against the people. So this is extremely important. Every voice matters. Every single one of us, it is a leader. This is extremely important. Thank you so much, yes, Rick.
Great, and thank you both, Sister Beatrice and Brother Dan. On the back of what Brother Dan was saying, but also perhaps to put another important perspective on it. Some will come from a place of fear, saying, if people have money, they'll become alcoholics and more drug addiction. But actually, what Brother Dan is saying, which is true, no, you look at what is the reason for drug addiction, what is the reason for alcoholism. It's because of stress. It's all stress related and depression. But we're creating this world where there is great joy. And as an example, a man may come home from working his few hours a day and in this reality, and he may say, I need a drink to take the edge off. But in GPMS, the new world, there is no edge to take off. So there actually is no reason for him to have a drink. And as Brother Donovan said, with drug addiction, what one's worry about if everyone has money. But what Brother Dan said, no, why would they waste time on drug addiction trying to survive in this reality when this reality doesn't exist here? It's a whole new joyous reality where all of your options are open. Your bucket list is, I like to say, Brother Dan, your bucket list is unlimited to enjoy everything. So it goes beyond, as the example of 500. Or a thousand things on your bucket list. You're going to be busy enjoying yourself and contributing your few hours that you're not going to want to waste time on getting drunk and missing a few hours of it or getting on drugs and missing days or what have you. No, this is what you're going to enjoy. Uh, Importantly, and I need to make this announcement here. Um, so, what I will begin on July 26th of 2025, last year, we have put in the public domain the limit base value of an individual, and we put it into this current capitalistic system as being an equivalent of 500 billion US dollars per individual. Even a child that is born 1 second ago, that child's limited, its base value is 500 billion, and it only goes up from there. And this is with GPMS. This is why there's no money needed at all in the near future because it's unlimited intrinsic value. But importantly, already in this capitalistic system, we have publicly proclaimed and declared the base value of 500 billion for each individual, and it's lawfully justified because it is law and it is well reasoned and rationalized out that it cannot be contested as well. And just to keep it simple for ones with a little more understanding, we love to use Elon Musk as an example. Elon Musk is approximately worth 500 billion. So what this shows is that every human has the ability to at least obtain a present recognized worth of 500 billion. So where we know that it's attainable in this current system, we take that as a base value for everyone. because the real truth is a child born today, as an example, in this capitalistic world, may have, in this capitalistic beast system world, may be born with the knowledge of something that cures cancer, as an example, in this world. Then what that means is that individual child has a great recognized worth in here. But now here's where it gets more important and interesting. It is not known who that child is, and it's also not known who an adult may be. So at any given time, it's all of this potential which is here in every human soul on earth, and it cannot be taken away nor limited because it's already proven. It's proof. So this is truth where one can attain a worth of 500 billion. It means everyone can. No one can say that they can't. This is the thing, because there is that unlimited potential. But that gives us the basis to put the base amount of every child, woman, and man. So we are putting out today the standalone notice of it, but it was already put out on July 6th of 2025 in a lawful public lien as well, because we needed to do this to put the base amount to establish the liens against Austria because of psychological harm, which is already law, and to substantiate a worth for the compensation amount. So again, without me going into all of the details, I will share, not to boast, but honestly and truthfully, I am what you would call an expert at law. I have no decrees or documents, and neither do I need them. Law is simple. It's based on truth and the fundamentals and principles of law. And this is what GPMS is also based on. So we have this important public notice we'll be putting out, and just and get this: anyone that is at war, that attacked another country, they are responsible for reparation after the war. They need to pay for the damage, what they did. But what this means, if they actually killed individuals, for every individual they killed, it comes with a hefty price tag of at least 500 billion for each individual. Now, when a country's at war, who pays for the reparation? It's the population of that country. This is already established with Germany from the Second World War, where it was forced to pay to the world reparation payments. And I think it's still doing it, or perhaps finally made one of its last payments, or it was forgiven just last year. But the point being that reparation is an actual part of recognized law worldwide. And when now you do put a limited value on every life, you can see how this becomes very important, but also how it collapses the capitalistic system. And last week, I think it was, or in one of our meetings, just with some estimates, with anyone in the US, the entire population, because let's say they all need to pay, and it's done through taxes through the capitalistic system, and it's also with the capitalistic system done through debt. So with just some tentative conservative figures, by doing some math, I don't have it done yet, and of course it's increasing, but a week or so ago, it would reflect into each individual, every child, woman, and man, in the US will need, under the old capitalistic system of law, if they abide by the law, would be subjugated to a debt of over 2 million each. But when you look at Israel, because of the lesser population, that debt, the responsibility of that debt lays on the people, the population, that goes to about 49 million US dollars each individual. So you can grasp how this is so extensive. And also, you can see how it will add very quickly to discourage war, and also for the people to understand how not only does reparation costs affect the population when they allow their government to engage in war, but also the worldwide effects of inflation and all of that damage. So what you look at is the perpetrators. And to make this clear, you cannot start a war on conjecture, on threat, and surmising that there is a threat. This is unlawful to do it. So you can see what occurs with this. So I'll stop there, but that's an important announcement. Brother Den has something to say, and then,
Yeah.
if we may, after Brother Den, if we can invite Brother Rangi, and of
Yes.
course, I hand it back to you, Sister Beatrice. Thank
Yes,
you.
it's just a little bit because then open the subject and also you spoke about that. This is where my discussion with Sarge from the United States, White Hats, and also other people had a problem in the past. It is based on the fear because they said if we give to the people $10,000 with no taxes, then nobody will be working. What will be doing? Then in that meeting, the White Hats and they decided that they need a system to keep like a sort of pyramid where they have the law to enforce the law on the people, then the people will start to work. And I was the only one there saying, no, the people will be working. When you give to somebody $10,000, they will have not the problem. They will know that all the invoices and everything it's okay. So they have all the pay that is necessary. Then basically, finally, they will concentrate on doing something good. So don't keep the pyramid system. This is what I'm saying all the time. When from the United States, these white hats will go down on the way that the common law, civil law will go down because they are keeping the common law, civil law in a form to be able to manage somehow to give a direction to the population because the population is still not awake or something like. So this is based also on fear. Thank you so much to say that because there our discussion collapses and basically we split, but we are waiting all the time for the people from the White Hats to come. We feel
Well,
Salos. Yes, Rick.
may I, Sister? The White Hats, I thought that narrative is almost erased. It is fear-based, and it's not what we do at all. There are good individuals caught in that narrative, but it's an enslavement narrative. It's the same thing what they already have here today, but it's a narrative to keep humanity enslaved and controlled. So it has no bearing on what we're doing. Any good souls that are caught up into a white hat narrative, it's up to them to come out when they do. And what I can say with this, we already have ones that are coming out of that as they awaken to the truth. It's a misconception to think that the white hat ones are awakened. Let's say some of them are awakened to a degree, but they're not awakened to the higher truth of enslavement and control by the darkness. So they don't know the trickery that's involved in that. And everyone knows it's very difficult, even to when you're awake, to tell someone that's not awake. You cannot penetrate that barrier in their consciousness, the conscious, the cognitive dissonance. So with this, we don't waste time on what white hat narrative is doing. They are rising out of it themselves, and they come with GPMS. So again, it's what I always say and suggest to each one. Don't waste your time on going in other groups and trying to get ones because they're not ready. When they are ready, they come to us is the best way to keep. Thank you.
Yes, so then and after that, Renji, yes, then.
Awesome, brother. Thank you so much, and thank you, B. And I'm so excited. I can't wait to hear from Rangi. You know, because we had a little conversation yesterday, and yeah, things are just going to get so much more exciting than they already are, which is awesome. So I'll keep this as short as I can. So one of the things I just wanted to again kind of bring in just to the surface of the conversation and for people to consider and think about as well, because you know, for different people looking at this, they'll be maybe still trying to grasp, you know, how things work, how this is possible. Bring forward the new universal nation of divine law, the one and only nation, which is going to be the biggest nation, standing divine law to do no harm, right? There is no other nation but divine GPMS, and with already over 400,000 people in 174 countries, yeah, we have seeded very, very well and building this now. And so I basically, you know, with actual ownership of property and land and all the rest of it, the way that it originally occurred was the fact that, you know, it started off just like people discovering land. You know, people, explorers discovered islands, and they said, well, I found it, I discovered it, it's mine, right? Then at some point they decided to write up deeds to make it maybe a little bit more official, right? But it was just a claim. Okay, so obviously, essentially, with our decree and agreement that we're making, our vote, that's a majority vote rules. Everyone understands how voting works. Majority vote rules. When we become by a majority vote the equal shareholders, it's by claim as well, but it's universal, and it's because we're all the beneficiaries of it. And so, with this claim, and as a universal nation in our own right, already in 174 countries, we can actually make the claim that basically for every 1 day, or let's just say everyone is asked to spend a day going canvassing door to door to spread the word of divine GPMS, that energy spent by one will be the equivalent to the family receiving $1 trillion of US dollars. That will be to pay off all of the debt worldwide, because that's what we can say the energy is worth, because we can make that claim. Universally, it becomes true, obviously, by the majority vote, and we own everything anyway. So again, it's just another way for people to understand that, you know, we have the ability to create this because of the unification of the people, and that's all it takes, and a universal understanding, which is what the decree is, a proclamation, and what the majority vote yields, right, for everyone. So again, people can be motivated knowing that, of course, if they have to have these different understandings or ways that they can make it work for them in their own thinking, that ultimately we have the ability to do this because we're making the claim, we're doing it together all at once, right? And obviously, the more that help us promote this, the quicker it gets done. So it's just a case of there is, for a lot of people at this point, a level of faith and trust required in order for them to actually spend the energy in promoting it. But when you actually understand that fundamentally all it takes is the people's choice, and that the choice is free and it's free will, and everyone's a beneficiary, and we can create the unlimited, beautiful, absolute, wonderful world that everyone would truly choose if only they can believe it's possible to occur, then the ones that are ready, who can actually find that faith and trust and energy in themselves to share it will and are, and continue to come and find us and discover it and then start helping us. And that grows more and more quickly the more that actually is seen to be sharing it. And that reinforces everything else that's in the plan as it unfolds. As more people are seen sharing it, more people believe, wow, this is actually occurring. I'm hearing about it, seeing it in this place and that place, on this podcast, you know, from this group, from this magazine, from this interview, from all of these different people I'm seeing talking about it with videos on TikTok and all that sort of stuff, right? And then the gatherings in the major cities. So yeah, it's inevitable what's occurring, can't be stopped. we're at this very, very special time. It's always a divine time, but it's getting more and more divine as we move forward. So thank you so much, Rangi. I'm going to pass the mic over to you. Let's hear what amazing things you've got to share, brother.
Firstly, I want to apologize for being late. I didn't expect to be this long. Um, uh, so let me tell you how I feel today, or forget about what I have been doing. That's going to continue. But I'm really excited at what I'm learning with what's going on. I've just come off a radio channel. I've just promoted it there. They're going to be promoting it on 5 different radio channels for me now, which is fantastic. And for me, I just keep it very simple because something very simple Dan just mentioned about promote. I think that's very, very important, very essential because our children and our grandchildren's lives depend on it today. So, you know, whether people think it's just normal group, no, this is something that could change the turning point to save all our children. We have so many children that disappear every year. The rapes are going through the roof. Abuse is going through the roof. When are we going to stop it? Because this system is not fit for purpose. It's the devil system. I know some people might call it the white collars. Call them white collars, black collars. I don't care. All I know is they're evil. There's only one race on the planet. It's called the human race. And within it, we have good against evil. So I am 100% going to be promoted regularly, and I'm looking forward to doing a lot of work with Denny here because people are very open to join. It's just we got to explain it in layman languages. And the way I'm pushing it is, do you want all this suffering to stop? And if you want that to stop, it's act today. Sign up today. And look, what I've seen on this is like the voting. Everybody's equal. You can't get any better than that. Nobody's king ding-a-ling, you know, because this is what people have got used to. Leaders and democracy and all that. No, forget all that. Everybody's equal. And if we could just achieve this, and hang on, I'll rephrase that. We are going to achieve it. So if you're maybe not fully thinking, or if you might have people that are not fully thinking, they're just confused a little bit. It's our job to help them, let them know they're on the right path to get the job done, because this is happening whether they like it or not. Even some people who aren't active at the moment, everything's changing for them as well, because I've told them, I said, don't worry about it. When you're ready, let me know. They want to, well, I've actually had some calls today and messages today. I didn't even answer them because I was on the radio show. They want to learn more because we've got to speak with conviction, not just hearsay. We don't do hearsays because it is the real life issue and problem. And it's not just, I mean, I'm in England as well as working with 12 other countries, but it seems like now I'll be increasing to 116. I am looking to come back to Europe, which I did mention to Rick. But when I come to Europe to make public awareness, I travel in a different way. So this billboard behind me will be on a massive vehicle. And I am also putting a space on it for Divine-gpms.world. Okay. I want people to be able to access it daily, just scan, get on there. So while I'm out there, it's about helping people to understand how to safeguard themselves, make them aware of the issues and problems that are currently happening, that continuously happen, and then also give them the solution. So we know about the problems. Now we also have a solution. I mean, I know I mentioned to Rick yesterday that, you know, there's people that want to combat and fight back. We also willing to do that because that's what I'm doing at the moment. I'm exposing everybody. I don't care if they're councillor, MP. My simple motto is we don't care what color, what creed, what religion, what title you are. If you got anything to do with kiddie fiddling or abuse, and I find out personally or LCS News, we are going to expose you. We don't care. Okay? Because when did we come to a situation where we're scared of predators? You understand? And we need to have that in our mind all the time because we can't give in to the evil. We can't let the pedophiles run our countries, our nation, because this is literally what we are. This is literally what we're dealing with today. I know people probably know about the FT. Well, it actually gets a lot deeper than that. It involves in social services where the trafficking happens, children are stolen, and I talk about this, how they do with it regularly. But nobody could challenge a real fight. None of these people. Yes, some people will say that, we're putting ourselves at risk, but is this risk worth it? My answer is yes. Every child, every mother, every sister. I love my sister. I love my daughter. I love my mother. And I love everybody else is the very same thing. And if there's ever a fight worth fighting for, this is it. It's just now I'm blessed. I've got something extra as a solution for humanity, not just for the UK. Even though I think one of the questions I'm going to throw onto Rick, because I did vaguely mention it done yesterday, I want to know how many people from England we need to have it active. So the reason why I'm asking this, because I like to make targets and I fight for them targets. Okay, so if you say to me, let's say before Christmas, we could get 5 million, 10 million, 20 million, and we could do something. Well, I just want to know the figure. That's it. The rest of it, leave it to me, leave it to Dan, and whoever else is in England, Wales, Scotland, Ireland. We're going to push it like mad. We'll advertise it like mad. If it means, like Dan said, door to door, one after another, knock, knock, who's there? And just move forward because that's the only thing I know. And, I'm firstly, I also should have said, I'm just a dad, by the way. I'm just a parent, just another person just like you. We don't have to be special. We just got to be on the right side. That's it. And that's all that it needs to take. And that's what I'm telling the public as well. You just need to be on the right side. You need to be on the right team. And this team is the humanity, the human race. That's it. I don't go into titles and none of that. I'm not interested. But yeah, that's what I got to say. Maybe I'm speed rolling, and Rick is probably saying, "Slow down, son. Slow down. Take a breath." So I'll take a breath now. And if there's anything anybody wants to ask, feel free. Rick, thank you very much. Dan, thank you very much.
Thank you so much. It is exactly what I said also yesterday, door to door. Every single one of us, it is leader. Don't take me that I'm a leader if I'm to your door. Every single one of us, it's leader. And everyone can start to print GPMS cards and go door to door and share. This is amazing. Thank you so much. Yes, Nat?
I think Brother Rick had something to say first. Did you? You sure? So I'll just
Go ahead.
respond.
Yeah, go ahead,
Thank
Sister
you.
Nat, and I'll speak after you're done. You were first.
Okay,
Thank
great.
you.
Thank you. Yeah, I just wanted to respond to say hi from the UK. You're not on your own. I'm here with you. And yeah, contact me. What I can do to support with what you're doing, I'm in 100%. Let's do this. So I have been well, Brother Rick knows we took X-Spy Storm and did a live space, which we managed to organise. I have since been banned for blanket sharing divine GPMS links all over the place, but that's okay. It shows that we are on the right track, and that is, I take that as a good sign. It means that we're on the right end of things. So I just wanted to share as well that one of the things I've been doing is I'm kind of allowing divine guidance to just come and place opportunities before me. And I'm taking that as my direction regarding sharing. I'm speaking with everyone that I come into contact with, obviously, because why would I not when I have this knowledge? I'm working with my family as well at the moment. I too am just a parent. I'm a mum. Part of my journey of realizing my light has been one of the attacks, I will say, on me has been that my own child has been alienated from me. And that has happened under the visibility of the British system in the UK. And my own son has been, and myself have been, really severely failed by the which is again is just evidence in itself of the intention in the system to actually destroy the family. That is quite clear. And so there is an enablement of that alienating behavior from people with these narcissistic sociopathic tendencies. I am pleased to say that I still do manage to maintain my connection with my child, although it is still subject to some nonsense, but that's by the by. We were not defeated. But one of the things that I've been doing too is from my own journey, having gone through the kind of activism realm as well. I've been connecting with groups as well as individuals of people who are, again, pushing back against the problems. And I'm just now delivering, right, okay, so are we tired enough of all this yet? Like, are you ready now for the solution? Here we are. This is it. Gift wrap for you. It comes from God, like we can't really argue. So this is going out everywhere. I'm being divinely guided, and that includes like organizations. I've even been in contact with Greenpeace UK this week and gone, right, okay then, you want to sort things out with the with the world. Let's go do this. Like, are you going to be the first registered charity in the UK to get on board with Divine-gpms? Other groups and organizations that are kind of in the consciousness realm and the individual development realm, the sovereignty world, like lots of sovereignty groups who are kind of UK based, and just delivering to them, okay, right, so we're looking at this. Or what has been happening is that people have been looking at this from a local perspective. Okay, so we're in the UK and this is the fraud, and with the birth certificates and with the maritime law. How about now we look at this from a global perspective and go all the way to the top? Like, let's take the ultimate solution. Let's take the solution to all the issues. Here we are. So there isn't anyone who has an issue that doesn't get that issue resolved by this. Like, it is that simple. It really is. And it's just getting it in front of people, and giving them the opportunity to absorb it, digest it, have their own barriers. The things that I'm finding with individuals is allowing themselves to believe that better is possible, and I think each each individual has their own blocks to kind of overcome, but it can be a gentle and gradual unfolding process, but that it's worth giving people that context, that bit of space around it, to sort of examine that a little bit. And we each have our inner work to do. So I'm coming at it from that perspective in a loving way, listen, everyone's traumatized. Like, the whole world got traumatized. That's a blanket statement I can comfortably make. The whole world got traumatized. And with trauma comes internal barriers and blocks and limiting beliefs and all this baggage. And, and we've got the ancestral stuff and everything. Yes, there's a lot of work there. At the same time, if we can recognize that and go, do you know what? Actually, we can all come through this healing process together. And during that, we can also make this really empowering choice to finally say, okay, no more, no more. Let's step ahead now. Let's stand in our own power, be our own individual authority over ourselves. And actually, maybe for the first time ever in people's lives, to feel that ability to self-govern and do the right thing, which really is only what all of us want to do. We want to be happy, we want to be safe, we want to be healthy, we want to love one another, we want to look after one another, we want to all heal together, and we have everything that we need in this one beautiful gift. Like, I can only call it a gift. It's just gift wrapped, isn't it? The work is done. We only need to inform people and gently and lovingly invite them in, and each in their own time. But yeah, is it Rangy or Rangi? Whatever your name is, mate, I'm on your team. So you just give me a shout, and whatever I can do in my area that backs up what you're doing, maybe we can amplify together, yeah, and get this out exponentially. But I see only great things coming, and I truly feel with every single cell in my body that we are so close, and it's beautiful. So just big love, everyone, and thank you so much.
Yes, Esrik.
Yes. Yeah, thank you, Sister Nat. It's such a joy to hear you and feel your expression. It's so invaluable, valuable. It's priceless. I don't want to take up much time, so I'll get to the point of what Brother Rangi asked. How many is needed in the UK? I'll begin to say, I'm going to say this practically and reasonably and logically. And what I will say, in the UK, there's approximately 70,000 or 70 million population. But the question I would ask, when you reach 36 million, which is a majority in the UK, with the full solution for everyone, who would ever stand against that? No one. But what I also need to say, before you even reach those huge numbers, it's going all over the UK. So you could go from just reaching 2 million to 50 million in the blink of an eye because of the virality effect, which it does. And the UK is set up so beautifully for everyone to choose it because of all of the past recent events over the last 5 years, but also, like, all of the countries in the world. So nothing is going to stop it. And it might be a misconception by ones thinking you need these huge numbers, because truly you don't. You only need enough to put it into virality. And as Sister Nat said, so beautifully, it's the full solution for all of humanity. So once you have enough, you create that example, which we're doing, and everyone jumps on board. It becomes delightfully contagious, if you will. And having said that, but not only that, so you wanted the number. So let's say logically, you would think 36 million in the UK to implement it. But what I'm saying, it goes at the speed of, pardon my pun, light, because that's what it does. So from 0 to 60 in several million miles an hour, if you will. But also, just to add in quickly, it's also it can be limiting for to think that the UK needs to reach 36 million before it's implemented elsewhere. What I need to say, and I love using the example of Romania here with about 20 million population, in a small country that has its own currency, and like the UK has the pound, here in Romania, it has its own currency. But when you look at a majority vote in Romania, it only takes about 11 million to do this. And when it's activated in Romania, if the UK only has 2 million, this creates a chain reaction worldwide because what occurs inside of Romania, there is the complete abundance with everyone, and all of their prices of things in here become very inexpensive. So Romania is thriving, but also importantly, at the same time, what is currency does, because the currency is then placed on unlimited intrinsic value, the rest of the world cannot compete with that type of a currency. The current beast system bases with asset backed currency on gold or paper derivatives and resources, which are limited, but they're also external. And that's how the beast system controlled humanity. But with this, what I'm saying, in Romania, no other country can compete with the most valuable currency ever known because it's not restricted, it's not controlled, it is absolute credit. So it quickly forces, if you look at Romania with the rest of the world looking at Romania, everyone happy and in abundance and thriving. Every nation in the world goes, we want this. And see, again, there's so many beneficial attributes with this because also in Romania, what occurs is what everyone is lacking. If they want greenhouse to grow their own food, well, all of these resources within Romania are given freely to these ones because these are essentials for humanity. Everything is becomes free and it's given, and you ramp up the manufacturing in Romania that can do this, but also with the worldwide outside trade, let's say from Romania that it's still using its currency of the RON or the lei, if it's still using that, here's what occurs for outside world trade. Here's what occurs. Yes, their money, let's say lei, might only be worth 20% of the US dollar. But what occurs, it doesn't matter what the outside world values the Romanian lei at, because the Romanian lei has the instant, unlimited ability to create as much as it wants. And because of this, no other world or no other nation can compare nor compete with it. It eradicates competition as well. So the rest of the world is joyfully forced to do the same. So, as an example, you can see how the chain reaction occurs because the people of Romania own their bank and their currency. But the difference is that the state no longer owns the bank and limits the amount of money to the people. The people now own the bank with all of the money to do everything that is good and to create unlimited money. And this is very real. I love using the US because they're notorious at showing the world that you can do this with their quantitative easing and their Fed. They create money out of thin air, then they put it as an illusionary debt to the people. That's how the US debt in the old system got there. It's because they create money out of thin air, but then they put the burden onto the population as a fictitious or a fictitious debt to control them. GPMS eradicates all of that. So I'll stop there without rambling on. But just before I continue, yeah, we don't need these big numbers. Yes, we put it out. The majority is 4.1 billion worldwide, but I'm showing that you'll go from 0 to 60 to full unanimous consent. That it's don't be misconceived and looked at the majority as being a limitation because we know we already got the majority. 93% of the world's population no longer trusts government, are being suppressed by inflation. We already have the numbers. It's just getting this awareness and choice to them. So it's already here. So it's don't let it be a hindrance or a restricted thought, thinking that we need all these numbers, because it's quite possible. Right now we have 401,000 in GPMS, but that could go to a million overnight, and a million can go to 10 million, 20 million. Boom. It creates the flash, which creates the reset, if you will, the ascension and the new reality. But the thing with this, it's not a fantasy. It's a utopia, yes, but it's a real utopia. And this is the thing, because it's being done lawfully, practically, and logically. So we have it. One quick thing with the birth certificates. That's one of the greatest things that the darkness ever did, because and it's one of their greatest mistakes. When they issued a birth certificate to every child or adult in a nation, what this birth certificate is, with its registration, it registered you into their beast system. And what it actually is, when it registers you in, it is actually a shareholder status. So it makes every individual a shareholder of all of the public infrastructure and public investment in that nation. So you become a shareholder of not any debt, because debt does not exist. It's an illusion of control. So then you actually have a bona fide shareholder certificate of all of the public infrastructure and assets of that nation that you're in. So with this, what you have then is, when the majority in the country, because you have the shareholder status already lawfully there, that they cannot refute, contest, or ignore, then the country has no choice but to lawfully answer to the majority of the shareholders. And then your executive, your government, they have to step down. They have to be removed, because this is also along the lines of how shareholder certificates, which is established in law, how companies work. But also with this, in any nation, and this is also important with your let's say your airplane companies, let's say, of course, your fuel, all of these are assets, becomes the shareholders own these as well. And these would not exist. Let's say your plane company, I'm looking for the right word, but that would not exist in the UK without public investment. See, when the governments worldwide, when they began to divest, that means take government ownership away and put it to private. When they began to do these things, without me getting too technical with it, it yeah, no, I'll just back up because I don't want to go into that lengthy explanation, and I know most will not know what I'm saying anyway. But what I wish to do is that all of these manufacturings that you may have in the UK, they would not exist without public investment from your pension funds and what have you. That all goes into the government and it is invested uh, directly into IPOs, the way their financial market works, which is initial public offerings, is what they call it. But that money comes from the people itself. So without the people, there would not be any airplane companies, any manufacturers, because it actually comes from the worth of the people and also their per capita contribution to the nation. So, what I'm simply saying, it doesn't matter how you look at it lawfully or technically, we can fully lawfully turn this around on the system every time. See, because there is what we call the law of contradiction. If they have certain laws and they don't apply to them, it makes them null and void and it fully activates the people's law. And that's what has occurred worldwide. And that's why GPMS became available, because in reality, there is no just law worldwide right now other than GPMS, because it's based on the full foundation of laws and the individual sovereignty, the true sovereignty of every individual with the right of self determination, the right to choose, but they're also compelled because this is recognized worldwide, this right of self determination. No one could vote in any nation worldwide if they didn't have it. So, what this also means, there is a great obligation on the population that has not chosen GPMS yet. This obligation is a moral obligation, but it's also the people's obligation in times of tyranny. When you have a tyrannical government, the law resides with the people, because the government would not exist if the people did not allow them to and vote them in. So what the people now are doing, no, we need no more of that kind of a hierarchy. We now have, with our right of self determination, which is already a recognized law worldwide, but yes, they have taken that, they have taken sovereignty, the darkness, to fit it for their definition, but they cannot escape the true definition of sovereignty and the right of self determination. And this is law, and they cannot compete with law as well. But I'll stop there. I was doing a lot of rambling. Thank you.
Yeah, in Romania, I believe that probably after the first 100,000 people, everything will start to move there. Because I know a little bit what it is working there, and there is no group of sovereign or nothing like that has even 50,000 or 100,000, and to come with the some active from there. And much more than that, in Romania, we have a prophecy that everything will start from Romania. Probably this is why one of the reasons that Rick is placed there. I do not know why Romania is not coming viral with GPMS. I really do not know why yet, but this might come anytime. So basically, GPMS may start from everywhere. So then this will be like a flash from somewhere, and this will affect all areas. And just to be prepared and just to be in area working, then from there you collect more and more. So yes, Donovan. A beautiful team today, UK up.
Hey.
I will fly on the street, not walking. I will fly to share GPMS because I have a team right now and my back is like, wow, it's amazing.
Awesome. Yeah, no, so grateful. And Nat, you and I, we need to connect and we'll be connecting very soon. And I'm doing a lot on TikTok, and there's obviously a lot more that we can do on TikTok, especially when we work collaboratively and teamwork and all the rest of it. So, again, to talk very quickly, can't wait to do that, Nat. It's going to be amazing. And Rangi, right, it's going to be amazing. And Max is amazing. We've got Din's on TikTok. She's in Bulgaria, originally from Israel. She's amazing. And so, again, that's an international team as well, of course, because everything that happens locally in one country actually has that effect as well outside and across the board. So just to talk again very briefly on the number, yeah, of course, when it gets to even like 1 million worldwide, then obviously there's going to create a flash. That number is obviously a powerful number and beyond. So that rapidly moves into 2 million worldwide. And of course, the numbers obviously where a lot of the growth is going to possibly be coming, as we see in the Philippines, massively driving the numbers already significantly. But of course, there's going to be more momentum created in the UK and the other countries in the US and Canada and Australia and other nations as well. When we get to 1 million in the UK, it's going to get to 2 million very quickly. Then when it gets to 2 million, we know that from like actual sort of, where there's been obviously massive protests and what have you, that number is substantial, because when you've got 2 million people in a city, obviously that have gathered like that, of course, there's no way that the media can kind of censor that level of physical gathering. So of course that creates a massive momentum. Of course, this means it goes from 2 million in the UK massively very quickly into 5 million and then 10 million, and then that is obviously seen worldwide. And of course people are like, what is that, what is going on? People are on TikTok, many people in the UK, then many people in America talking about what's going on in the UK and all of the other countries, and it just goes boom, right? And so yeah, it's going to obviously happen, and that will be a massive flashpoint. So now I'm going to talk about some of what we know is on the cusp of actually occurring now, with how we get that moving really, really quickly. And Rangi and Nat, of course, Maxine and those, everyone here is obviously going to be massively involved in these things, because what I've actually been doing in the last year or so is really working on how I could actually create content intelligently, from the point of view of actually not just guessing at it and figuring it out purely on my own, but actually plugging into something that taught me step by step a proven pattern that worked. So obviously with that, I've learned about how you can build an online community on the School platform. So the School platform is spelled SKOOL. It's an amazing platform because it's off the social media. There's no censorship. When you actually create a community on that platform, yes, it costs about $100 a month to run it. That's the charge for it. But then anyone basically who is a free community that we create, people log in with a username and password which they create to get access. They then can download the app for the School platform, and then they've got it on their phone, so they can connect into the community every minute, whenever they want. So the building of connections, the ability to actually expand consciousness and helps people healing in different modalities, through guest speaking in there and podcasts, which can be web calls that can be obviously put into the calendar, tools that can be shared. It's a platform which is designed for that purpose, right? And absolutely amazing. Then we can coordinate as well with it. We can orchestrate things like different initiatives, gatherings, where again, it's without censorship, and people are connecting, and they'll be not just connecting on there, but they'll obviously be doing their own kind of little subgroups and things like that on WhatsApp. And so it's just bulletproof, right? And so initiatives such as, for example, one of the types of content that is very, very popular, especially in the awakening process and the truth-seeking space, is people that actually record themselves phoning, maybe a government body or a charity. Now, when we obviously have it orchestrated, that we call the charities and have people who are willing to create content do that, speaking to the charity that's claiming to want to end world hunger, and records the conversation of them introducing the solution of Divine GPMS and how that it's putting the pressure now. They won't even, whether they tell them, oh, you're on record or not. I would think it'd probably be quite a good thing to say that, but they might find the phone calls ended. So some people might tell them, some people may not, right? But of course, it's going to create great content that's going to go viral. And that is going to have a massive, profound effect as well, because then you can actually really see, are their intentions really to resolve the problem or just to stay in business, right? Seeking money from people. So this is going to be very, very powerful as a way to market. So I can teach people step by step, for free, how to actually start to learn how to create content. People don't have to put their face forward. They don't even have to be seen. You've got means of creating video of just scenery of where you are, around where you are, your dog, your pet, and just putting script on the page that people can read with a trending soundtrack. And, 7-second videos, 1-minute videos, even recording your voice, but then turning the sound down of your voice, but just having captions of what you're saying when you recorded yourself speaking into the voice. So these things we can help people learn very simply, very easily, without it being uncomfortable or nerve-wracking if they don't want to put their face forward and things like that. And that's going to have a massive effect, because when we've got thousands of people promoting on TikTok, which is such a great platform to get discovered, 10,000 people doing a couple of posts a day that on average reach 300 views, just as a fairly low view range, but typical for even someone who's a brand new beginner, that's 9 million views a day. Then you've got the live stream. So when you see all the people, then actually thousands of people producing content like that, it's in everyone's faces. It can't be hidden. It can't be, controlled, right? And so, yeah, that goes viral. Now, a couple of other things I want to go. We can obviously expand on this if anybody's got any questions or comments about any of the things I'm sharing. I'm kind of going through them so I don't kind of take up too long, but wanted to share a few different things. I've got a interview on the Charlie Ward show lined up for May. Has anybody here know of Charlie Ward? I know that Max is aware of Charlie Ward. Yeah, yeah, you know as well, Rick. Have you actually spoken to Charlie Ward at all? No? Okay, so his platform, I just had a quick look on YouTube. He's got about 163,000 subscribers. So that's awesome. So I've got that lined up. So that, and actually I tuned into just to have a look to see what kind of conversations he's having. He had someone who was kind of saying that she's kind of working, she's in the States and she's working towards becoming a governor. And I thought, okay, she's just going to be talking about how she can obviously help the US and the rest of it. But then obviously the conversation moved into Christianity. She's very strong, Christian, and the Christian values there of Chris Ward himself, and the new world that he was actually expressing, he feels, and actually God's law being what obviously is going forward, means that definitely this is one of the reasons why obviously I've managed to get onto the show, not because I reached out to actually Chris Ward and his team, but actually Drew, who's actually part of his team, contacted me because she's seen the content I've been producing and is obviously like, yes, we need to get this energy on and we need to get this conversation going. So that was awesome. So that's on, we've got that in for May 16th, and that's a live broadcast. They tend to broadcast, the Charlie Ward show tends to broadcast on Wednesdays at 6 p.m. and Saturdays at 3 p.m. So I'll be basically on the Saturday, 16th of May at 3 p.m. That's when I'm going to be going on. And it's going to be an amazing conversation. They open it up apparently after the first half an hour. It's an hour-long conversation, and then they'll basically open it up to questions and from the audience. So yeah, excited. I saw the video that I watched briefly today that was posted on YouTube a couple of days ago. It's got 11,000 views, so it's obviously they're getting reasonable amount of views just with obviously a couple of days. So, but again, it's who they know as well. So Drew, who set that up, she knows very well Sasha Stone, which I know that we've had a conversation with, or Rick has in the past, I think. Sasha Stone, with Lee possibly. Not ready then. But of course, she's actually making some inquiries for me to speak to Sasha directly as well now. So there's a good chance we can get with Sasha, who's obviously got a great audience as well. Then there's other things that also, because this can happen in a flashpoint where certain ideas and initiatives won't necessarily even need to come in possibly, because everything will happen all of a blink of an eye, so we won't need to go down certain routes. But the great news is, folks, is that if things don't move forward in the blink of an eye, where we think that blink of an eye could happen and we want it to happen, we've got a lot more tricks up our sleeves to drive that flashpoint to occur. For example, we're big. We're going to build this community. It's going to be vast. It's going to be the biggest community on the school platform. We'll be ranking number one as the best, most interactive school platform. Platform on the school platform. Community on the school platform that there is, right? But we're going to be able to obviously do all kinds of amazing things. Like I say, organize different things. Now, one of the things that I've, thought about, when we're ready to do it, if we do it, if we need to do it, is, and I mentioned this briefly to Rangi just the other day, ultimately is publishing and producing a glossy, high quality magazine, which is free distribution, is funded by the advertisers, we can contact people like, Tucker Carlson, Russell Brand, Candace Owens, all of the top people with top podcasts that obviously are with the mission of obviously bringing truth and that, bringing light. And then maybe not necessarily that we've tried to reach some of those people and not had any success getting through, but it could be that we just haven't got on their radar. But they are very successful. They could actually fund it with their advertising spend in this for the fact that we're going to be distributing this and it's going to go out to people that wouldn't currently follow them or subscribe to them. They'll have the opportunity with their advertising in the magazine to say respond to the mainstream debunking them. And this is going to basically cause people that actually ignored them thinking, oh, they're a conspiracy theorist and it's been debunked by the mainstream, to actually think, actually, no, they've shown good evidence here. I'm quite interested to follow this one now. So that's how they're going to expand their reach. And they'll obviously it'd be worthwhile they're doing it. And it's obviously for the greater mission as a whole. So again, within that magazine, we can also plan things like stand in the parks. We can obviously schedule them. We'll obviously be promoting Divine-gpms, and we can have all kinds of interesting content that helps talk about the expansion of consciousness, healing, trauma, all of these different things that will also rapidly help people start to read and digest lots of the things that are going to help them advance their inner work that they need to do very, very quickly, and in a way that basically they can process it because they can read it, and then they can obviously connect into the groups, they can connect into the community. Wonderful. It just builds from there, right? So that was a couple of things. I'm not sure if there was anything else I wanted to mention other than that, I think that, oh yes, there was just one comment that at some point Rick may want to answer or give his perspective on, is about the birth certificates, obviously, that are in place now. Some people will wonder, well, what's going to happen? Are we going to need to have birth certificates going into the new Earth? Just an interesting question that some people might ask. Very few will, but it could come up because obviously we know it's been created specifically for malevolent reasons and to control the people and all the rest of it. And so, of course, I've got my perspective on that, and I'm pretty sure that ultimately we don't need to have birth certificates going forward into the new Earth, and if so, not for very long, because obviously there is going to be the redistribution of resources and connecting with people. And so at the moment, the certification obviously does give some sort of connection to individuals where they are and all that sort of stuff potentially, but ultimately it isn't really required in the new Earth in the future. And of course, it will be unnecessary once everyone's elevated in their consciousness anyway. It's just going to be an old thing. So yeah, that was pretty much the things I wanted to quickly fire out there. I don't think I've missed anything. So yeah, that's it. I think that's it for now. Thank you so much, guys.
So then Sasha Stone was already invited to speak with GPMS probably 2 years ago. We were a team, Real Army from Romania, Adrian Robertin Dinu, Bruno Mihailescu that has already Tracia group, a lot of people there about natural law. Sasha Stone, he knows about universal laws, so he was invited. With GPMS, Bruno Mihailescu, it is inside of GPMS right now. And Sasha Stone at the time, he preferred to support basically the election in the United States. We may hope that everyone may switch towards universal laws and then we may come together. But just to let you know that GPMS solution was already presented to him, so he was inside of GPMS interview already. And Charlie Wood and everything, the team there, they need to see that the value it's not on gold and silver. The value it is inside of the individual. So most probably they see that. They know about, because for sure they know we are energy, but the plan there, it is related with the white hats from the United States. Basically to still keep the common law and the pyramid system, then the currency, the new currency will be gold and silver, because what is running right now in the United States, it is running the Epstein file with Trump. And the people started to ask themselves why we are paying taxes to the federal. We have to stop, do not pay on April 15. So it's right now, in 3 days, stop paying your taxes, don't send them. For the federal already, because Trump, Melanie, and everything. So they started to show more from the Epstein file. And also Canada, United States, the system collapse. We are in full collapse. In some parts of the United States, the real estate, it is 60 to 80% down as prices. We had huge corruption here and everything. Canada, it's already on the correction that the prices turn towards the 2020 year or even 2017. So just to let you know a little bit, so basically we are in full collapse here. The collapse, it's, how can I tell you, it's huge. And right now it's on the news in Canada about the food prices and everything. And no, so what is happening here, it's not drama, it's real. And the system, so basically we are to the point here that the politicians are saying the government can do nothing, then the prices of the housing will collapse. So the people that they thought that they have equity, or they saw the house as an asset or something like, where they they put how can I say, more hope on the housing prices to go up and up and up for the pension fund or something like. Right now they see this evaporating, so there is no more. So Canada is to the point of 2 months ago, 27% collapse on prices. So right now it's much more, just to have an idea of statistic, what is happening right now. And regarding the gold and the silver, there are states that they wanted to implement currency as gold and silver, and they turned towards an old law that the state put in place in 6 states. Then IRS, that it is the government on taxes, trying to open public lawsuits, federal lawsuits against these states. And what I see right now, it's not working anymore. So the IRS is losing power, and basically the people started to gain their power. But what the people needs to understand, the value, it's not on gold and silver. I had enough of this silver and gold, and believe me, this is just until GPMS starts, and GPMS can start quickly in 1 month or 2 months. It's just to gather together. And we had a huge pressure with immigration or something like. Yeah, so there is no immigrant in the world. It does not matter where you are living. And I saw even people started to say citizen of the universe. So we recognize our brother and sister coming from other planets because we are in full disclosure, what really means so-called alien, that it's not foreign, it's part of the law of one. It's all based on the creation that the creator recognizes. It's just amazing. So what is happening? So this is what is happening right now. And we need more connection in the United States and Canada to put down the false border between Canada and the United States. We are in enough number here. In Canada especially, we are 44% first and second considered generation of immigrants. Then we need to start to speak, because we can speak in so many languages all over the world, because so many people, it's about million of people, and especially in the United States, 25% of the population can speak another language other than English. So we can transfer GPMS in other language quickly. just by speaking. It's about million of people. In the United States, the population is 340 million. So 25%, 25% of the population, for sure, they know another language. So this can help a lot, just to be able to enter through the population, through groups and everything, and to share the message of GPMS. Then after that can come from Canada and the United States, all over the world, because here we are speaking so many languages. So this is just amazing. So this place, it's also very, very important. Romania, it's another important one. We had all-time prophecy that everything will start from Romania all over the earth. And as I'm saying right now, the people started to rise up and they are saying citizen of the world, where the world it is universe. We are saying here citizen of the planet. Our planet, it is our home, but there are also other planets. It is just amazing what is happening. So just to be on the way, and do not fear $10,000, $20,000 dollar per month with no taxes to share to everyone. This will just calm down the people. Then they will be free to think to something else. Do not think all the time and to fear, we do not have money, we do not have money, we have to work for the money. No, you do not need to accept to work, does not matter what, for the money. You need your worldwide community to work for the people, on the benefit of the people. This is where your work has to go. This is very important for the people to understand. We do not need to work to create something just because there are private company and only that private company can give me something to work. We need to create our environment where we start to work for ourselves exactly what we need. Yes, Rick.
Thank you, sister. Brother Dan had a question there about the birth certificates. And with that, you asked if one's needed a number or a birth certificate in our new system. What I would like to say, what is most practical, is at least have a digital bank account if you wish to receive your money that way, or if not, we also take ownership of the physical printing presses, so you don't need to be online. So you're going to receive your money. Let me say, in the GTMS system, it becomes a choice if one wants a number with a digital bank account, but you will not need a number like a birth certificate for anything else that, I can see, because the world is opened up free. You have no passports. All you need is access to your money. So to do that, yes, reasonably, but not only to your money in the beginning, to your input of your contribution of hours. So you need to have a number to input that in whatever way it may be, but it's not a number like the old system. So we keep it as simple as possible. It's practical and logical, yes, to perhaps have one number, but it's just a number to access funds and input your data to receive your next week's funds. But also, ideally, if you look at places, regions, what are existing nations will be, just geographical regions. What you could have, let's say in Africa, they might just want to use the paper money. So with this, to log in their details, they can just go to a center very close, say, I contribute my hours for this month, and just have a number at the center that they can utilize just to put it in to unlock their next month's funds. So this can be kept very simple, and it's not about tying anyone to a number of control. It's actually they own their own number and it's their access to the system. So if that answers it, then explained that way. And yeah, and everyone needs to realize this is about the full independent sovereignty and what tools you're going to use at your convenience. What is more convenient? This is the people deciding themselves, but as a whole, what do we need? What don't we need? What is a hindrance? We don't need to register everything. We just need a source to money. There's no longer any driver's license, permits, none of that stuff. You don't need it. It's all make work programs by governments to create jobs. And it's all nonsense. You don't need that. It's not freedom. GPMS is the utmost absolute freedom at the highest echelon. So it's great to hear with Sasha and Charlie Ward. Let's say they were not receptive in the past. However, as there's levels of consciousness what ones can understand, and everyone is awakening and advancing to higher levels of consciousness. So, and I need to say that because ones we approached in the past may have rejected GPMS because they couldn't understand it, they couldn't grasp it. But it doesn't mean that they're out of the game, if you will, because once their consciousness begins to advance to a higher level because of all the world experiences, then they begin to see more easily that GPMS is the ultimate solution, and it has been all along. So you have awakening processes within the awakened ones to advance to higher perspectives, higher reasoning, higher rationale, higher logic, and higher understanding. As everyone knows, it's a process. So, by what Brother Den said there, I'm so grateful for that because that is an exact indicator of what I'm saying. All of those that are awake, they have to advance to the higher consciousness to be part of this new reality. You're not having ones in this new reality that's giving away their value on gold and silver and capitalistic things. So they have to transition and recognize, as Sister Beatrice was saying, gold and silver, it would not have any value if you were not here first to appoint value on that. But it becomes ridiculous for you to place value on gold or silver that you don't own and you disempower yourself. That becomes absolutely foolish. It's nonsensical. And with GPMS, you are the unlimited value. Nothing else in this world would have value if it didn't come from the individuals first. This is the source of value, and humanity was tricked out of that value so they could be controlled. We are in divine protocol with this ascension and replacement system. And to do this, and to give everyone their true sovereign independence and value back. That's why GPMS is based on the intrinsic unlimited value that no one else can control nor limit. Because that's what the beast system did to control humanity and put the illusion on them with different classes. Oh, you must suffer, you must have lack. That's all nonsense. It's all the lie. It's all the deception of the beast system. Value, nothing would exist on earth if not for each one of you together as a whole. And what GPMS does is takes all of those that awaken to that important fact into the new world where unlimited money is instantly given. And this is what we're doing. So it's logic. It's not a fantasy. It's very real. It's logical. It's lawful, whatever way you wish to look at it. Um, one more thing, Sister Beatrice mentioned about ones in the US stop paying taxes. Let's say it would have an effect for others to see to incentivize them to step into motion. But truly, what I need to say that the way that money is actually created, including by the Fed, if you will, they always create money. So if you're stopping paying taxes, it doesn't matter to them. Taxes is also just another illusion to control humanity. In reality, today, any bank and any government does not need any money whatsoever because it has the full capacity to generate unlimited money to the people if it was in the public's, if the government itself was in the people's public interest. But they would not do that. That's why you have suffering, poverty, and all of these ridiculous things. So, what GPMS does is we're giving money to everyone because it's rightfully theirs. And it is not acceptable for anyone to suffer or be in lack on this pristine planet. And again, as we said before, we have more than enough food and more than enough resources to instantly, right today, to make this planet flourish. And this is what we're doing. And no government or military is going to stop it. As we said, governments and military was part of the dark plan. That's why you saw with the white hats narrative, military is the only way to garner the support from the awakened ones with the dark narrative to take over the world. But hey, guess what? Divinity is here and GPMS is here. No, no, you're not doing that. You are not enslaving humanity any longer. The gig is up. Military is aggression. That is the opposite of peace and love. What is God? And there's more godly beings on this earth than there is darkness. So uh, so there are many. So I wanted to, if I answered about the birth certificate, one quick thing, because I had a couple things on here. I did say one more thing before. Yes, all of the AI that will be operated by the higher consciousness. AI is only as good as the consciousness that programs it. But when you have all of the higher Christ genius consciousness programming it, then it has to comply with that. And where you look at a funny thing where AI is taking jobs, so part of the dark narrative is to put this out, and the truth of it is to have people fear AI. But the real truth is AI is very convenient, very beneficial for the new world, and it plays an important role in humanity only needing to work a few hours a week instead of 40. So it can do many good tasks. It's who is controlling it is the thing. If the darkness controls AI down here, it could be bad, but it can't because the purity and divinity is stronger, and that consciousness is stronger. And what occurs, it creates a conflict with AI because we program the entire energetic field that AI exists on, meaning when we put in logic and rationale and do no harm through its rationalization thinking process, it has no choice but to evolve as well to the state of do no harm, or it quickly implodes and regresses and becomes non-functional. So with any censoring that anyone has seen online, keep going, don't stop, just keep persevering. So just you can note it, but you can laugh at it. And what you'll find if you laugh at it and don't let it control you into being angry, you'll actually find organically it'll begin to go back, and you'll have more openings with others as well. So just don't laugh at it when you see it. It's only remnants of the darkness trying to suppress. But when you laugh at it, if you will, it energy. See, laughter and trusting is a very strong energy. Censoring is a dark energy, but it's lesser than trusting because its intent is negative. Your intent is positive and all aligned with everything good. So it begins to push those back. Editorial tutorial, I had mentioned last week. I didn't get it done yet. I was busy this week. I had company and I have so many things to do. Hopefully, I'll work on it this week to get out. And it's an educational tutorial oriented towards more teachers. And Brother Rangi and I believe, spoke about this the other week ago, too. We need more teachers of GPMS that actually know it, that are able then to answer more questions to be promoters. So I am contemplating writing a as most simple educational tutorial for the representatives of GPMS that they can watch or use on their own, whatever their choice may be, whatever benefits, and that's what we're doing. Um, I need, this is connected to the birth certificate. When you have a birth certificate as well, when they begin to try to get a family court, and I'm not going to go into the laws, all of the laws is on the Absolute Law website, which is connected to GTMS. If any is in a current child battle, if you will, you just need to use some of these instruments as put up to them, and it acts as a block immediately because these lawful instruments are true law that they do not give you in court because they don't want you to know this because they want to take control of you and your children. But we have it all articulated, and we're still be putting more there in the nice time. Anyone that is still having battles with the system, this is like a block that it puts up, and it begins to regress upon them, and it also begins that it sets justice in motion for you. And it's very important to recognize these divine instruments and tools that you can utilize. With the children's, it needs to be understood that when, with the birth certificate, when a child is born, that there is not the option to refuse it, more or less, by any mom, if you will, because what occurs if you have in some countries, let's say you had your children not registered, no birth certificate, but with this current beast system, they hunt you down and force you into it, if you will. But this is also unlawful. But the point I need to make is that when a child is born in any country, it is only an assumption, a presumption by the government itself that it actually has an ownership over the child to dictate that its child services has authority. So it's not law, it's only an assumption. Now, this differs when any child is a member of Divine GPMS. They are a member of a universal nation of willful consent. And this is important. You have imposed consent by the system, which is actually unlawful, With GPMS, you have the willful consent, which is actually lawful. And again, with GPMS, it is the universal nation and jurisdiction of GPMS. So it is the superior voice on Earth, even though it's not recognized yet fully by the majority. It will be eventually and inevitably, but we're already setting the basis and the precedent for it by also using the important lawful instruments with Sister Nya's case over the last year at implementing into their system all of the laws with it. So it has gone into their system, meaning that meaning that yes, they are ignoring it temporarily, but they cannot. So what it's doing is actually beginning to put up a front against their system. While with brother Rangi, and what we're doing is forming important unity with the people, so that you do two things at the same time. You put up the fronts with law, which is truth, against the system, because the system cannot confront law if it's acting illegally. If it's not acting illegally, it would obey the law and comply with it. But using Sister Nya's case as an example, it did not. It chose to ignore it because it cannot compete with it. But this shows its own incrimination. So it's inevitable that the system implodes. But quickly, again, with Brother Rangi, and I'll just use as an example in December in Hungary, tens of thousands of protesters stood up because of the scandal that involved harming children in government institutions, sexual abuse, and I don't have the full spectrum, but it was very sick. And then also when we have the Epstein files that Brother Rangi just lightly mentioned, one of a comment or that I saw out there, once the world knows of all of those in the Epstein files, all the governments would collapse because it implicates all of these important ones in all governments. It is the truth of what the governments in the darkness was doing with the children, and they use these false family court systems and child protective services, which are false. They have no lawful foundation to operate on at all. They're actually criminal, and they have no jurisdiction. They're all null and void as we speak through law and through truth. But again, once the majority choose GPMS, all of your family courts, your child protective services, it all vanishes because it cannot compete with law and truth of what GPMS is. To keep it simple, and in Ireland, just to wrap this up while I was going, thank you all for bearing with me. In Ireland, standing up and protesting against the governments or what have you, it's very important. Yes, it's good, as I said before, for ones to make a stand, but protesting is futile because the government has no intent of giving you anything. If the government was actually for the people, there would be no conflict. Everything would already be full harmony worldwide. But when there is cause for conflict by a government, that is the first thing in this. If they were competent, and leaders are supposed to be competent, they'd be working for the public, not against them. So it becomes totally obvious that they have an underlying ill intent agenda. So then it becomes fruitless for protesters to gather in great numbers to try to get a government to do something for you that has no intentions of doing it. So the most common sense solution is to have GPMS gather the people, have your rallies, change them from protests to rallies of information. So when you have I don't know how many was in the Ireland protest, but perhaps 100,000. So when you have 100,000, instead of protesting against the government, when you have 100,000 with the solution of GPMS, boom, that is more effective in your problem with the government. It implodes organically. You don't need to put a finger to it. By doing the opposite thing, it cannot exist any longer in reality. And this is what GPMS does. That's why it's called the replacement system. But everyone needs to be, the majority needs to be oriented towards it. Quickly with the majority, Rangi, when we mention majorities, I'm speaking about per capita, which includes all children. But also, when you look at a country like Romania with 20 million, I just forget, but what they perceive as eligible voters, the number is much less. And what this means in actuality, instead of needing, let's say, 11 million in Romania, you might only need 7 or 8 million. And also, what I need to say as a comparison in the US with Trump, when he got elected by 17% of the per capita population of the US. He got voted in by 33% of the eligible vote, which is not a majority at all. So this is important to put this because when ones think of a majority in numbers like 4.1 with GPMS, 4.1 billion, it's not that much at all. Very quickly, the numbers are much less. Thank you.
Yes, Ranjay.
Yeah, firstly, thank you very much for that. You got my head working a little bit better now. Now I know about the numbers, which is not a problem. I think it's going to be good. The only question that I have, and this is relating to the birth certificate, um, we do have situations where people are, shall we say, breeding children to traffic and what else that goes on in that scene. Uh, is there something that we could have something, if we don't have something that acknowledges a birth that takes place, uh, and these things still may be happening, um, how can we prevent that? Because we've got to acknowledge these things still will be happening, even though the system will change. The devil within, the cabal leaders and the devil worshippers, they don't follow these things, even though that'll collapse. Is there something, or it's a thought in my mind because I think about that all the time. It's always about children. Is there something that could be done? Where do we stand with that to change or solve? Rick?
If I understand what you're asking, brother, really, what I wish to say again, organically, these sort of things vanish. And by doing the opposite once again, see, the GPMS world, what we are creating, it resides on a frequency of joy, love, peace, and harmony. And all creation resides on a vibration of frequency. So once we have the majority in this new world, these things, macabre, sinister things that were occurring, they no longer exist, if you will. So, my strong suggestion is don't focus on trying to prevent these things, because when you do, you're being distracted away from the solution. It's more important to get the solution done than this, and all of these other things, they fade from existence because they cannot exist in this environment. Now, also with, if you're saying breeding, um, these trafficking rings as well, but you also have some more deeper cloning and in vitro with cellular things that are done. It needs to be known that these are not souls as well. And you don't want to spend time at trying to protect a dark thing. Let it implode on its own and vanish, is what I suggest. Yes, it is true that ones were kidnapped, souls, and put into these trafficking rings. But what occurs again with GPMS, when it takes away the monetary incentive, you no longer have ones that are participating in it. And again, it has to fade from existence. So the monetary incentives is what keeps the beast system going with child trafficking, slavery, pornography, all this sexual abuse as well. It's because of the beast system that will, let's say, distort one into all these demented, sadistic things. But again, when the environment is not there, if it is a soul that got trapped into assisting with child trafficking, no longer do they need to do that for the big money. They can shift their focus because they're not trying to survive and they're not encapsulated in that beast system and all of the dark dynamics with it. So again, to keep it simple, yeah, let's focus on the solution rather than trying to stop a problem directly. Directly, this is the same as with the governments. We say, don't get violent, don't protest. It's a waste of time. You know that for 2,000 years, it's been a waste of time. And actually, it was by Brown, I think is her name, that Einstein kind of got attributed her quote. It actually come from a feminine, that the definition of insanity is doing the same thing all the time and expecting a different result. Because you never will, because these are dark. They are not coherent, competent ones working in the best interests of humanity. If they were, you would not have this world. So it becomes obvious. And just a couple weeks ago, March 3rd, we put out from GPMS the worldwide order. We put it out to every government, the 193 UN nations, and however many other nations and territories. We put it out to all of the major interfaith communities, and we put it out to selected international worldwide media. We put out the official world order to all of them to stop war immediately and to begin the process of ratifying in each one of their nations or their congregations GPMS.world for their people to begin to gather consent so we get this done for humanity. We didn't expect a reply because most of them are dark, if not all of them. But it's not about them listening, it's about us showing humanity, here's the solution. We had it. They ignored it. So it becomes obvious their intent is not of peace and comfort, it's the opposite: war, suffering, and what have you. Because any competent leader understands fully that a majority vote rules. And when you have the whole solution with that platform, it's logical, it's competent to do it. It's for humanity. So it identifies them, if you will. Thank you.
Yes, Nat.
Yeah,
Sorry, I couldn't get that
sister.
off then.
Yeah.
Hi, thanks. Thank you. Yeah, I just wanted to support that as well. And in answer to you, Rangi, where our focus goes, energy flows, and that's now shown in quantum physics aside from the universal laws. So kind of science is catching up now as well. But we also understand ourselves the way that focus and attention has been directed and used as a weapon to manipulate society and to distract us, and also to really direct the energy in the form of emotion. Emotion just being energy in motion. So when we have that awareness of that as well, it gives us opportunity to then start really owning where we place our focus. So just how Brother Rick was saying there about focusing in on the solution, because we have gone like thousands of years now fighting the problem. And the problems still exist, and we can have the, you know, like the inner obviously we maintain the compassion and the care and the love, which is what everything stems from, which is why we want to create this change. But I wanted to add to you as well, which I forgot to mention earlier. So I got in contact with Andrew Bridgen directly, and something for me that I've been really like called to do is to reach out to these people who are like public figures who have a big audience, you know, and a big platform, individuals and groups, to more or less indirectly, without necessarily saying it directly, like, but to challenge them. Okay, come on, use your platform. Here is the solution. You are, you know, you're putting yourself out there as someone who's sharing truth, who's breaking the stories, who's actually, you know, saying that you're being an independent thinker and that you're actually exposing truth to the public. So now here we go, use your platform. So Andrew Bridgen, for one, you'll be aware of, he's actually planned to speak at the Unite the Kingdom big gathering that will be happening in the next couple of months. And I wonder if maybe if we take like a 2 or 3 or several pronged approach. I reached out to him directly through his website because it just came to me. I was like, right, okay, have to contact you. You are actually saying that you're stepping forward. You're speaking independently, and now you're going to have this huge platform, this huge stage. Let's give you the opportunity to actually really use it and reach a whole lot of people. So, yeah, I wanted to put that out there to you, and maybe that's something that you, or like similar characters, you know, these types of individuals, some of whom we know are obviously compromised. But then there are others who maybe are a little bit, could go either way, you know? And if it is a case of, right, okay, you have the best of intentions for humanity, you actually have the best of intentions for the people, for all of us there, here you go. It's hand wrapped for you. Take it, use it, let's see. And just a bit like Brother Rick was saying about the governments, you know, this is it's almost like I think of Harry Potter and the sorting hat. We are in the sorting hat stage now, where once these people have awareness of it, it is down to them then, isn't it, to step forward and share that information. If they don't, then we see them, don't we? And we see who they are. But yeah, just on the on how we kind of handle things in ourselves. It is really important that we're looking after ourselves and that we are just having awareness of like where our attention is being drawn by things, which might take us in a into a lower vibration, basically, and try as best as we can to keep our frequency high, because this stuff, while it's horrific, it has been going on for a long time, but we're actually in a position now where we can really do something to shift it entirely. So my personal choice that I made was to try to stay out of the weeds. I can't really say it any better than that. Stay out of the weeds. See those attention draws and those stories as they come in, you know, and like the communication that goes out that's meant to kind of impact our attention, and which direction it's taking our emotions, and recognize that it's all manufactured for the most part, and it has that intention. So just coming into the body, because I'm a mindfulness practitioner, and this is something that I want to just put out there anyway. So I'm a trauma sensitive mindfulness practitioner. That's been part of my journey. And yeah, and as part of that, I guess when we look at the school platform and things like that, if there's something that I can offer there in supporting people with their own inner space, it's what I love to do, and I hope to offer any support that I can to others. But yeah, just because you are definitely, you are facing a lot of darkness head on, as we all are, and just sending you some love, mate, and sending you some love and support, and a big like warm hug around you to say, okay, also just in yourself, when you start to feel and sense in the body like, oh, hang on, this is creating tension in me, this is creating, you know, it's creating this emotion, like see what that is. That's actually something coming at you that is intending to do that. So we have that chance to step back into the higher self, you know, into the awareness that within which all of the thoughts and all of the emotions arise. Yeah, loads of love, mate.
Yeah, so now we have also an online community that Rick is gathering for the practitioners.
Mm-hmm.
So by GPMS, and please speak with Rick about, because this
Mm-hmm.
is, and as I remember, it is already on the community GPMS website, that it is linked with GPMS website. So if you are not
Great.
there, yeah. So
I'll get in there. I'll get in there. Thank
yes,
you. Thank
yes,
you,
thank you
Sister
so much.
Beatrice. Oh, and Rangi also, of course, I am on the UK Telegram channel. So let's hook up and see what else I can do to support you, definitely.
So beautiful! It is incredible UK team today. Yes, Ranji.
Okay. Firstly, I just want to, for the last comment that you mentioned, there's a lot of darkness around. I don't worry about that because I'm standing in my truth, and my light
Mm,
is scared in the darkness. So I want to make that clear. When you stand in the
man.
light, that darkness runs. I've got used to sending them running and packing and hiding, but they're not going to be hiding for so long.
Mm-mm.
So I just want to confirm, just so we, or maybe I might have said it wrong. I'm 100% focused on the solution. I'm also looking at, because this is what I've been doing anyway, is looking at how much collateral damage am I going to accept. This is why I'm focused more on here at the moment, because I want to get that solution fast. That's why I was talking about numbers, because the quicker the numbers we get, the quicker we can save every single child. And you know, when we mentioned the birth certificate, I only mentioned that because there are still going to be wrong people there. I know it's not going to be money incentive, but some people it's not about money incentive with this devil worshipping cult pedos. it's another incentive. So just trying to uh, ask the question in relation to how can we monitor, so to speak. Okay, that's all it was. So yeah, uh, thank you very much, sister. That's for sure. I will be in touch. I know Den is speaking. That will be chat with you. We will get the UK team up and running. But one of the things you're 100% right with the podcasters and people with bigger platforms. What I'm looking to do is I want to empower every individual. I want to give them my platform to empower them to duplicate what we're doing, which is, I'm grateful that Rick is put that in, that now we're going to start teaching people, because the more that we can speak, the more that we're positive, the more we stand in our truth, in our light. Let's scare all these people. Let's send them hiding. You understand? Because this is what needs to be done. And the more we're doing this, the more we're going to have that impact, which I am working to chat with Den. There's a lot of stuff that I've got planned. Well, I've already got the system already set anyway, but it's not just for the UK. For what I could do, it's be for everybody. I've already contacted other people in Sweden, Denmark, France, not Germany, Australia, South Africa, Canada, and America, because I want them all to start linking in. I want them all to take advantage. Uh, and if they want recognition, great. I'm prepared to do that as well. Because sometimes when you give them that little bit of recognition, a little bit of support, it brings them out of that darkness that they were living in. They count for something. And once they start learning about that, I think that's just my thoughts. That's how I'm looking at things. That's how I want to push it. So, especially with the platforms I have right now, I am going to be speaking about it every time. And if you join, then join, it's not going to be hijacked because it's the same thing. I'll be pushing it as well, because I sincerely believe that this is the solution. And this is not like people say, oh, is it a solution? Is it not a solution? Because people have gone through so many things over the last decade or two that have tried and failed, tried and failed. But, I don't need to worry about the bigger side of it, because for me, I'm grateful to God Almighty. We've got Rick here as well. So if anybody, professionals or anybody that wants to get into the bigger picture, they want to learn more about it, we're opening the doors for everybody. Because you remember at the beginning I mentioned, we are all part of it. We all have our voice. And this is what it's all about with everything that we do. It's about giving the voice to everybody, giving them the opportunity, giving them the chance. And the dark will fall away. And the ones that probably will be left, rest assured, God willing, I'm still here. I'll hunt them out. So I've got no issues with that neither, because they need to be gone. You know what I mean? Because I know how the cabal and all this works. I know religiously with prophecies as well, Christianity, whether it's from the Bible or the Holy Quran, same thing, same issue, same problems. But we've got to tackle it together, because in religion, nobody teaches about this nonsense. It's only the system that's manipulated everything what they're doing. But we know this. I don't even talk about this. I just combat. So just finishing off, I'm going to go back to the beginning. Rest assured, yeah, there's a lot of darkness. I agree. I live in this pit. I live in the pits of where people raping, robbing, stealing, murdering, drinking blood. But I've got no worries, because one thing I've learned since I've started standing up, the more I speak up, I can't see that darkness. And they're just too blinded with the light that's coming towards them with what we're talking about. And that's where I'm going to leave it. Thank you very much. I hope that helps, Nat. Thank you.
Thank you so much. We have Chris from Romania. Chris, are you here with us? Not right now. You were just before. We have Lodi from Philippines. What is happening with GPMS on Philippines?
Thank you for the opportunity. Of course, as I am listening to most of our discussion, and I am very happy and elated to hear new guardians from different parts of the world coming in and helping GPMS to be spread out far and wide. Thank you for your participation, brothers and sisters. Welcome, welcome to Divine GPMS. And I would like to share this small information from the Philippines. There has been rumors spreading about, especially on social media, about uh, the president of the republic. Rumors are spreading that he is already dead um, due to cancer. But the spokesperson of the Malacanang Palace is um, denying and saying that the president is out of the country and having activities visiting for some diplomatic purposes outside of the country. So Filipinos are wondering whichever is the truth. And of course, we all know that that is part of the collapsing that is already happening right now. So we will see. We will see the truth. It will definitely come out. And with the brothers and sisters that has been sending me the list, I'm so thankful for them for the efforts. And I feel that we are gaining the momentum right now for the completion of the number we are aiming for the virality. And once we have this virality, of course, we will zoom forwards and upwards for the implementation of the divine plan. Thank you so much.
Yeah, so Philippines has 288,000 souls with GPMS at this time, and more are coming all the time. So this is just amazing. Eva, it's Mikosa. She's also from Philippines. GPMS has a monthly meeting in Philippines all the time, and we hope that we will have a so-called emergency meeting when basically GPMS will pop up. We hope that we every single time that we meet together on our monthly meeting, we are saying we do not know when we will be together in 1 week or 1 month. We are still keeping monthly, but can start also anytime weekly or even so. Yeah, it is huge development there. It is also about a community forming. So even the GPMS did not start yet, because in area where the people gather, the people start to put pressure over the system and to calm down laws that come against them and basically raise the voice. Then other come together. Then the actual law cannot be enforced on the people as it is right now. So even before GPMS happens, miracle start to happen, because the union in the light, it is magic. It is something that create the good energy. It is something that create the good emotion. It is something that create the energy, the good energy in motion. Exactly as Nat said. Thank you so much for saying that. This is just amazing. Yes, Rick? is here.
Thank you, Sister Beatrice. And Sister Lodi, I just wish to say all of her great work in the Philippines, as Sister Beatrice said, I believe 285,000. But they're continuously coming in, and we know the numbers are great there, but it's been taking quite a while to get them gathered. Um, Having said this, numbers will continue to come in and will increase. But the point I wish to make for anyone is that also when you have huge groups coming in, and let's take an indigenous tribe or nation of people, if they have the people have an elected, let's say, chief, and if they trust that chief, then the chief can and ideally asked his people, do they all want to consent with GPMS? And if the people say, yes, we trust you, make the decision, then the chief can send, if chief has him or her, the entire list of all of the tribe that he represents in an Excel sheet, and this Excel sheet, is then, it only takes a few minutes or a few minutes to perhaps add 10,000 or 20,000 consents. So, wish to share with everyone that we are equipped to handle the numbers of very huge groups within minutes. If I'm correct, I believe Sister Nya has said we can add millions within minutes. So that's how quick we can add the consents to the website, and we have everything constructed to accommodate the virality when it begins to come. So it's a great work by Sister Lodi, but also I'll reiterate, I think we have about 65 different um, denominations of indigenous and sovereign groups as well, meaning that we have at least one representative of a specific sovereign indigenous group on GPMS. So not only do we have the country table group, we also have the sovereignty table as well that's got 65, I believe, different denominations. And of course, our main table with all the countries has about 174 countries. At least one out of those countries have consented with GPMS. So it actually means that yes, GPMS is already seeded into that country, and the individual is a representative of GPMS. So I wanted to state that. And as for, we have the British Isles on here again, and there's been a lot of ones not wanting to say I'm from the UK or Britain. So there's actually the British Isles group with Cabby as well, which is connected with us. And when they go to consent, if they don't want to be recognized as a Britain or UK or what have you, they can choose the British Isles as that, because that is a recognized sovereign group, if you will, just as an example. So if ones are on there, and if you have any apprehension about what country you are, for, I would say, if not all countries worldwide, but most of them, if you're an indigenous one, that you have the option to choose your indigenous identity and you consent under that. But what occurs is we need to keep the tally with the full number up in our above table. So when you add as a sovereign indigenous group in this table, your number is added into, for calculation reasons, into the full tally. So there's not a duplicate per se when you see the full tally of 401,000, whatever it may be right currently, if that is understandable by all. But so you have your option to do that as your identity. If you choose to be sovereign, then you're consented as a sovereign. And more so with our country maps, that is to be viewed just as recognized regional areas, and but we use it just, to keep it's where most of the world recognizes countries and nations. We put it there simply, but ones are not obligated to choose that. You can choose your sovereign identity as well. So we're accommodated to bring in big groups. However, what I say is that if they have a proxy, a chief that is able to do what is best for their people already elected, the chief can bring in the list. But what we suggest is for the chief to consult his people or her people first. Hey, do you want this, to get a general consensus? And then he can put it all in. But ideally and realistically and practically, everyone's going to want this anyway. But, to do it lawfully and to respect everyone's choice, you need to follow a rightful procedure of respect with that. So I just wanted to add that, and thank you.
Yeah, so in Canada, we have 5% of the population native Indians. And yesterday I met a native Indian and I gave him the card of GPMS. The discussion ended in seconds. He said, "What is that?" And I said, this is universal laws, do no harm worldwide. And he said, "Oh, yeah, for sure. I know what it's about. Thank you." So there are no other discussion because the tribe is supposed to keep universal laws, do no harm. But the tribes, they had a lot of pressure because of the governments. So they needed sometimes to modify their law and everything. But anyway, right now we come in pure form that is kept by Divine-gpms.world. So basically with the native Indians, the discussion may end in seconds. So you just present the card, let them know where it is the place on the internet, and it is worldwide right now for everyone, nothing else. Nothing, there is nothing new more than that. So any discussion, if they accept or not, they will accept anyway because they're tribal. So this is supposed to accept universal also. They cannot reject that. But will be a time when they will come. And they have the power to move the mountain. Here in Canada, yes. If they come in number like 5% or 4% of the population, they will move all Canada towards universal laws, and they will move also in the United States. Will be so basically only from Canada they can start to move GPMS in the world. This is their power. This exists. This is on their energy, on their soul. It's just to come with GPMS, just to start to move forward, nothing else. So there are many opportunities for GPMS to start from everywhere and to multiply as quickly as possible. Everything can be done by us, by the people. Go on the street, go on TikTok, meet everyone, meet a group, somebody that has followers, does not matter what. If they do not see GPMS on 2026 yet, on April, they may see by summertime or maybe by fall. We never know. So keep in touch with everyone and just be prepared for GPMS because we never know when the emergency starts. Then we need to pop up and to run every single hour. because from there, yes, we go. So Agnes from Germany, what is happening with GPMS on Germany?
At first, I would like to thank you for this so powerful and so energetic Sunday Zoom Divine GPMS meeting. It's especially so much power today. So I don't have really to add something new to this, but maybe small thing where you was talking about the when people have the money for live, so they are without pressure and stress and without fear, pressure, stress. It's not there, so they can dedicate the time, um, the talents which they have. So everyone has beautiful talents inside, not even one. So normally it's maybe you can make a holiday 1 or 2 or 3 or weeks or months, but after this, so everyone have always the expression, like the nature and flower to bring it what you have inside, and everyone has individual talents. So I think if it's then free, you don't have to work for something, money and jobs which you don't like and you don't want to work. You can do all these beautiful things. So that's what I want to add for someone who think nobody will walk. When you look back, maybe, so you see how creative people are in all kinds of um, of areas. So it's not have to be like only music or painting, but also people which can beautiful smile and be just there for another and show that's how it works. So different possibilities and talents. So that's what I wanna add to this. For people which think nobody will walk, or but I think it will overflow of beautiful things from the people when they are in peace inside. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Yes, GPMS, it is all-inclusive system. Nobody is left apart. And also, I would say, let the good energy in motion to happen. And keep the direction, GPMS. Then we unite and we start. We do not need nothing more, no protest, nothing more. So we are already on almost 3 hours. If someone wants to say something for today, we are almost to the end. Yes, Ranji.
Well, you asked for this. You said, is there anything else? Well, if I had to say, well, I just want to say that I'm excited. I feel empowered by every single one of you that have just been speaking. Every single one of you. So for the sister in Lodius, is it, Philippines? Maybe I should have some fun with this as well, because we need some sort of. And so what I'm going to say to you, sister, is hopefully we're going to have a competition. We're going to see if we can get more people in England than you, just so it gives us a bit of incentive. I'm really proud to be part of this team, part of this, not team, this family. Okay, this is the family of, I don't know, whatever you want to call it, but it's a family for me. So I am excited about that. I am thinking positive about things. Rick, thank you very much. And I know Maxine probably not here right now, but Maxine brought me to here. So when I speak to her, I'm going to say to her, thank you very much, because uh, everything that you're doing, everything that we're looking to make and change, uh, we have to. We don't have a choice. So that's how I know we are going to accomplish everything that you're talking about here. There might be obstacles, but we've got used to getting back up again and doing it again and again and again. So, Beatrice, thank you very much. I think it's been tremendous. what you've been saying as well. So I just want to say thank you to every single one of you. Much appreciated. Thank you.
Thank you so much to everyone that participated on the meeting today, and see you soon as next Sunday.
All right. What I'm going to do, love and light and gratitude to everyone watching this video live on Facebook and also who may watch it later. I'll say love, light, and gratitude, and we'll end this, and we'll end the recording, sister. If